Fall is here and the leaves are abundant. But this year, instead of raking, I decided to try something new and use the WORX WG512 Trivac 2.0 for the past month. And to be upfront, it won't revolutionize your productivity, but it might hybridize it. Before we start, let's go over a couple definitions. The term Trivac refers to the product's ability to blow, vacuum, and mulch. Mulching is a way of reducing the volume that leaves take up by shredding them. The Trivac accomplishes this by using metal propeller blades that spin rapidly to provide a 16:1 mulching ratio. This equates to a volume reducing factor of 16, or in other words, for every 16 bags of leaves collected, there will be 1 bag of mulch left over. The product comes with a feed tube, a bag, the electric Trivac, and an owner's manual. Some other things you will or might need are an extension cord to power the device, earplugs to protect your hearing, leaf bags to dispose the mulch, and a tool to remove the objects that may jam the device. One thing you probably don't want to throw away is this orange cord holder that comes attached to the power cord of the device. This prevents your extension cord from being inadvertently disconnected if you accidentally pull or step on the cord. After the device is connected, feed some of the extension cord through the bottom opening and rest it on the holder like so. Before turning on the Trivac, you can switch between the blower or vacuum by pressing and holding a black button on an orange knob and turning it in the direction of the printed arrows. Make sure that the arrow and the line up with each other. In the blower position, the back end will be facing down, while in the vacuum position, the back end will be in line with the feed tube and a connection port will appear at the bottom. The bag can then be attached by pushing the orange connecting piece in until a snapping click sound is heard. To remove the bag, you'll need to push the slider and pull the orange connection piece away. The switch is located at the top of the handle and it can be turned to activate 2 different speeds, labeled 1 and 2. Speed 2 is faster than speed 1, but also louder. When the bag is ready to be emptied, turn off the device, remove the bag from the Trivac, and unzip the other end to allow the mulch to exit. In the event that a stick or wood chip jams your propeller blades, turn off the Trivac, remove the bag, switch to the blower mode, pop the propeller cover off, and remove the obstruction with a tool or your hands. If you can't switch to the blower mode, you may need to shake the Trivac until the leaves fall out through the feed tube. Note that once the cover is removed, the device cannot be turned on until the cover is reattached. I decided to run a test to see how many bags I could save and how fast the Trivac could pick up leaves compared to using my hands. In the test, I raked 10 leaf piles of similar size, 5 to be picked up with my hands and 5 to be vacuumed. My goal was to pick up the leaves as fast as I could and store them in 30-gallon Home Depot leaf bags. On your mark, get set, go. In the end, the Trivac took me 10 minutes and 5 seconds, while picking up leaves with my hands took me 5 minutes and 17 seconds. This means the Trivac was 1.9 times slower. Also, if you didn't notice, I had to deal with 2 jams due to sticks and wood pieces in the leaf piles. Ignoring those jams, the Trivac would have taken me 7 minutes and 9 seconds, reducing the slowing factor from 1.9 to 1.3. While this is nice to know, it isn't realistic. If your yard is cluttered with twigs and bark, jamming will be a common issue as it was in my test. 2 workarounds involve keeping a greater distance between the Trivac and the leaves, and swaying the Trivac to better separate the leaves. A common terrain that I would highly not recommend using the Trivac on is anything with wood chips. Any inhalation of a wood chip will most likely jam the impeller blades, but don't get me wrong, it's possible. It just requires a little more attention. In most cases, for a somewhat well-kept yard with some small twigs, you probably won't experience any jamming issues. When looking at the bag savings of the leaves uncompressed, the mulch takes up about 2/3 of one bag, while the unmulched leaves take up one whole bag and 2/3 of a second bag. This gives us an estimated mulch ratio of 2.5 to 1. Compressing the bags reduce the volume to 1/3 and 2/3 of a single bag for the mulched and unmulched leaves, respectively. The new mulch ratio comes out to 2 to 1. This means I only need to buy or use half as many bags as I normally would if the leaves were unmulched. Typically, every fall, I average using about 25-gallon leaf bags on my 4,000 square foot lawn. The bags cost me $2.37 per 5-pack at Home Depot, and I spend about $9.48 for 20 bags. The mulch ratio of 2 to 1 would then save me $4.74, assuming the cost of electricity is negligible. I paid about $100 for this Trivac on Amazon, which means it would take me roughly 21 years for it to pay for itself using the cost savings from the bags. Unfortunately, the Trivac wasn't any faster at picking up leaf piles, but I thought it could be a rake replacement. Despite my wishes, the weight combined with the length of the feed tube relative to my height at 5'9" makes holding the Trivac tiresome and unwieldy, especially when trying to traverse an entire lawn. I also live close to my neighbors, which presents another issue. This thing is loud. Very loud. And for these reasons, I'm out. Just kidding. Sort of. Unfortunately, the Trivac turned out to be too impractical for me to use as a rake replacement. I still rake the leaves, but instead of using my hands to pick them up, I mulch them. While things didn't pan out the exact ways I had imagined, I found that the Trivac really excelled when picking up leaves in hard-to-reach areas, particularly window wells. Depending on their depth, the feed tube and vacuum may provide tremendous value in these areas that would otherwise be inconvenient. Another area that the Trivac excels at is picking up leaves off rocky terrains. And because of the difference in density between the leaves and rocks, I've had no problems running the Trivac across them, even across very small rocks. The blower configuration works as intended, and the ease at which you can switch between the blower and the vacuum makes the Trivac very versatile. Also, the bag strap is a big bonus for keeping your hands free when switching from the vacuum to the blower. Now, I don't normally switch to the blower when I just want to mulch leaves, but it comes in very handy when I need to clean hard surfaces from debris such as a patio, garage, or driveway. Now, let's go over some other useful considerations and tips. There's a big difference between dry and wet leaves. Dry leaves are ideal because they're lighter, easy to vacuum, and will improve the mulching ratio. However, they also produce a lot of dust that could irritate your eyes or lungs when emptying the bag. Let me emphasize that the dust is no joke. There's a high chance it will make its way into your nostrils and eyes unless you cover them. So, depending on how sensitive you are to dust, wearing a mask or safety glasses may be warranted. Wet leaves, on the other hand, are heavier and slower to vacuum, which means the mulching ratio usually takes a hit. But on the bright side, you don't have to worry at all about the dust flying into your face when you empty the bag. A common thing you'll run into, especially when you vacuum leaf piles or large leaves, is a temporary leaf blockage in the feed tube. This can easily be fixed by nudging the leaves back into the tube with your foot. Over time, as the bag starts to fill up, you'll notice that the vacuum gets weaker. The owner manual recommends emptying the bag at 75% capacity. This will vary from person to person on when to empty, but the point is, you'll start to get diminishing returns as the bag gets fuller. Leaves don't normally smell bad unless they happen to be mixed with dog poop, so be warned that anything odorous that you pick up with the Trivac will still be odorous after you mulch them. And if you're careful, Your Trivac may reveal the location of some of these precious jewels. Tying everything back together, I bought this Trivac because I wanted to try something new, something I thought was going to revolutionize the way I collected leaves. And in some ways, it did, but not in the way I had originally imagined. The WORX WG512 Trivac 2.0 is a great entry-level vacuum mulcher at $100. But if your intent is to be more productive with picking up leaves, this product may disappoint. However, if you have a small yard and are interested in the vacuum and mulching technology, or a hybrid way of picking up your leaves, this may be what you're looking for. And better yet, if you also want a blower, this will be a great value purchase. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment with any questions below and I will answer them as soon as I can. Also, if you want to see more product review videos like this, like and subscribe and I'll start grinding away. Thanks for watching.